Hi guys, welcome back. So a big win for England, 18-7, another win against Ireland. It wasn't perfect for England, but it definitely was impressive in defence, very dominant. Ireland getting on the board just about in the end there, banging their heads against the brick wall for a lot of it. So let's take a deep dive into this game and see what happened. In the first few minutes it was ping pong, the sides were feeling each other out for sure. When we get into the scrums, England straight away look like they've got the edge. That was quite impressive. Mako and Sinclair impressing there actually, where I thought maybe Ireland could get an edge, but not at all. In the second half, the Irish scrum got a fair bit better, to be fair. Some good jackals all round from England there. Curry gets a good one to start with. And they're feeling each other out. 10 minutes in, a silly penalty from Farrell taking the man in the air, and that's one area England won't be so happy with. They definitely gave away too many penalties. Anyway, England under pressure, and England were under pressure for quite a lot of this game, as in territory wise, but their defence really was very, very solid. In that first early exchange, line-out errors from Ireland starting, and that continued throughout the game. England put the Irish line-out under pressure. Kelleher definitely had a few wobbles, and they did make quite a few errors throughout. They won't be happy with their line-out. Scrum, like I say, got better, but still you'd say England had the better of the scrum. So set-piece wise, definitely there to England. And it takes about 13 minutes for a big scrum from England to get a penalty. They go to the corner. Their maul's looking a lot more dominant than Ireland's. Ireland had lots of line-out drives, but were getting pushed back or disrupted. England's forwards on top, and then we have a try for May. I think it's a penalty advantage from that maul. They go cross-field, lovely kick from Farrell. May times his leap perfectly, takes the ball two-handed above his head. That was impressive for the try, 5-0. Then another silly penalty from England. Sinclair, silly obstruction, give Highlander a line out close in. But yeah, another line out mistake. This one probably was Kelleher's fault, to be fair. And I said in my preview show, Kelleher was going to make mistakes. You have to let him make mistakes. And this game was kind of case in point there. And really, that mistake did lead to England scoring their second try. Lovely quick hands going out wide. Slade definitely passed well. Daly passed well with Farrell as well. They moved the ball nicely when they had it, which wasn't a huge amount. And I thought Lawrence actually played pretty well as well. Hit some hard lines, some good defence. But really, they got to the outside edge, and May just shows his class. Beats Chris Farrell fantastically well. He's deep inside his 22. He kicks the ball ahead, and then it's just pace, pace, pace. Another kick and score. So impressive from Johnny May. So impressive. Anyway, 25 minutes in, England's defence is looking destructive, but yeah, the penalties are hurting. Line-outs, plenty of line-out opportunities for Ireland, but they lose some. Atoje steals one, Launchbury steals another, so this set-piece disruption carrying on. And on 29 minutes, I was making the observation that England's defence was literally just pushing Ireland back. You know, Ireland were attacking with heart, with purpose. They were trying to bash through the white wall, but England was smashing them back. Byrne was lying very deep in this first half. Ross Byrne wasn't good enough, and he was letting England's defence rush up outside him, make the big hits, and they were consistently going behind the gain line, which really killed them, to be honest. Another good turnover from Billy relieves that period of pressure. And Ireland had plenty of good ball in hand. They were making good territory, but turnovers, errors, dominant tackles, they just couldn't get near that England line. Then on 33 minutes, a lovely bit of attack from England. Two very good blindside attacks, varying up the attack. Get a penalty, two penalty line-outs, 5 metres out, but Ireland escape both times. And it's 12-0 at half-time. You know, England power is doing the job. Curry and Underhill, very impressive. Ryan impressed me though, to be fair. James Ryan throughout the match, I thought he stood out. Looks high quality, aggressive, powerful. Still doing his British and Irish Lions cause no end of good, even on a losing cause this time. And like I said, Ross Byrne had to sort out that attack. Far too deep and static. Anyway, into the second half. And some bad penalty errors for Ireland here really kill them, to be honest. They need to get back into the game. They have good possession throughout the game, and England are pretty poor on the penalties as well. But there was a silly neck roll from Quinn Roux, makes it 15-0, so that's beyond 2 converted scores. That's really dispiriting. They're getting pushed back. And Ireland make early subs. 50 minutes is very early to make a lot of subs, but they need something. But then another penalty, and this one's unlucky. James Ryan goes to clear out a ruck. I think Billy Vunipola moves to the side, and James Ryan clears out thin air, so he's off his feet, which is well harsh. But 18-0, and it is looking a mountain to climb. And more huge defence from England. Ireland empty the bench again. Ireland start getting on top a bit. They're getting good pressure. Lots of 5-metre line-outs again. And I put on 64 minutes. They've just got to score now. But they don't, and it's a turnover. And Chris Farrell gets held up over the line when he must score. So Ireland just not taking their chances. And it's killing them, to be honest. Yeah, so more 5-metre line-outs. Ben Earl gets a big turnover. Soul-destroying stuff. And then eventually they get over. Billy Burns is on. A bit more creativity maybe. Lovely weighted chip to Stockdale, who burns the defence. That was a good try. And maybe that sort of variation was more of what they needed to do. It finishes 18-7. So, for Ireland, dispiriting. But I think they were their own worst enemies here, because they knew England were going to be like this. And they didn't take their points. It drives me up the wall a bit with Ireland. I take it that they back themselves, but the stats don't back it up. They don't score enough from those positions. They need to take points against a team like England with those penalties, and they just don't. Set piece wasn't quite good enough. Too many line-out errors killed them. They needed to have a different type of attack rather than just trying to pile through England. And it was just brilliant. England's white wall was lining up and knocking them back, and Ireland were playing into their hands. So they need to rethink, to be honest. Not panic stations for Ireland, but certainly tactically they need to rethink. Maybe personnel. For England, you've got to say the defence was pretty epic, to be honest. It really was very, very impressive. The set piece was impressive, the defence was impressive, and they took a few really good chances with some Johnny May magic. They didn't attack enough ball in hand. They definitely needed to have a bit more attacking pressure, which they didn't. Too many penalties. But like I said, that Johnny May magic, when they did put him into a bit of space, and the crossfield kick, it was too good. So England, deserved victors. Again, too strong for Ireland. Ireland are really going to have to rethink how they beat teams like England. England need to be a bit better, but they're heading towards that final clash with Wales, looking very strong indeed. Anyway, let me know what you think of the game, the tactics, the players, how England look, how Ireland look, what Ireland need to do from here, and where England maybe need to just improve a tiny bit to get even better. Anyway, I thought that was a fascinating, intense game, and until next time, I will see you later.